good morning and good afternoon, depending on wherever you at the time of this recording. Now, this is a particularly special episode. This is going to be a continuation of episode 99, part one. This will be labeled as episode 99, part two. If you are a little bit confused, I will put it inside the description below. Basically, help you guys understand for some of you that may be lost because I'm ready to announce that we are going to have our 100th episode. It's going to be coming in soon, next week to be exact. It's going to be next week, and we're going to finally launch it on YouTube. We're going to finally be on YouTube. I realized that a lot of people, oddly enough, I hadn't uploaded to YouTube yet. I've really been uploading it to all the major streaming platforms, and YouTube might be the only one we haven't gone to. So for the people that have been wanting to tune into us but didn't want to download the apps or weren't able to, don't worry. We will be on YouTube now. So be on the lookout for that next week. If you haven't, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel right now to get notifications, post, and please subscribe, share with your friends. We definitely appreciate any kind of support, any type of criticism critique you guys may have about the show. We want to hear it all, good and bad. We just want to keep moving forward and just be the best versions of ourselves. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And with that being said, let's jump into this episode. Johnny, how you doing, man?
Hello, world. Just Johnny tapping in, baby. The analyst, not the advocate. See, we on the 1v1 today, see?
1v1 today. It's supposed to be two other guys, but unfortunately they won't be able to be here, but they will be on the 100th episode. So shout out
Triple
to Kyrie
digits.
Elijah. Let's get it. Shout out to Kyrie Elijah, man. Love them boys, man. So definitely wanted to. So back to what I said originally. This is part two of episode 99. And if you guys aren't aware or haven't caught up, or you haven't been able to click on the episode 99, we gave our Sweet 16 Elite 8 predictions. Oh, see, that was 98. So we actually gave our Final Four and championship predictions in episode 99. All four of it. I believe I had UConn, right? Lodge had Miami. Johnny, who did you have?
Well, see, me and you both took UConn, bro. We both took UConn.
Right.
I do gotta admit, to our loyal listeners, as y'all all know, we are analysts at heart, but sometimes we do get it wrong, and I have gotten it wrong before. And see, I'm not gonna lie, I had San Diego State losing in the Final Four on the way to the national championship. They upset and continued their hot streak, and they beat, I think it was Atlantic. Forgot the team it was that they took care of, but yeah,
right.
I forgot. I had them right here,
San Diego
but
State. They played Florida Atlantic.
Florida Atlantic. That's who it was. Yep. So
Yep.
I had them losing that game, so
Right.
they wound up winning that. I think it was a buzzer beater.
Wow.
But they continued their Cinderella season on. They proved me wrong. They made it to the national championship. They beat another number one seed on their way up there too, because we did make predictions. So I got San Diego State wrong, but I was right with UConn.
Got you. Now I think I was pretty much right in all my predictions. Now I don't want to toot my own horn, call myself a little fortune teller. Like I said, my lawyer here. But just want to say, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty sure I had San Diego winning. I'm pretty sure I had. Who did UConn play in the Final Four? Why am I forgetting?
UConn played.
Why am I forgetting this?
I'm about to say who they beat.
Because UConn dominated so
well.
The
Aztecs.
Right.
They beat the Aztecs in Houston, but to win, who they beat to face the
Aztecs? Because the most crucial information, and we're actually stumbling upon it. It's because they dominated. They won
every tournament game by 20 plus.
So they beat Miami. They beat Miami.
Of course, we just talked about
this, and we just said this earlier. So they played Miami 72 to 59. Pretty much was just straight dominance. Listen to me, man. UConn, I said it before, Johnny, is one of those schools. You got to put UConn in the premier blue blood schools now. They got 6 rings. I think aren't they like right now in the top 10 in terms of like schools overall in terms of titles?
Well, this will be their 5th title.
Not the 6th.
The prestige. Yes, sir. The prestige speaks for itself. This will be their 5th. This will be their 5th national title. But the thing is, we're back caught up now, y'all. We're back caught up. We got it. It was UConn beating Miami 59-72, and that was San Diego State barely scraped by Florida Atlantic by a buzzer beater. But real quick, I do want to hit, since we're on UConn right now, I
Yeah,
do want to hit that real quick. This is their 5th title, see?
talk
And
to me.
so, once again, another game that they win by double digits. They've been dominating
Dominant.
this tournament, yet and still I didn't even have them barely even making the tournament to even begin with. UConn was a sleeper, and I think we slept more on their pedigree. And first of all, let's understand their scouting has never been wrong over the
Mm,
past over their past decade plus. When has UConn ever gotten it wrong? If they haven't had a guard, they've had a forward. And Tristan Newton of UConn, 19-10, Adama Sanogo, of who was the Final Four's most outstanding player of the year, 17-10 as far as rebounds. That just added into their dominant nature of them just basically beating down San Diego State inside out. But at the end of the day, it didn't help. San Diego State just couldn't shoot the ball well. But I will say, since we're on UConn right now, like I think we slept on their pedigree. I think we
mm.
slept on. I for one slept on Tristan Newton. I knew about the Adama Sanogo. I
Right,
already knew
right.
about him. He was a walking double double. But Tristan Newton, he caught
Yeah.
me by surprise. See, he had a heck of a game.
I mean, listen, and then I just got a report actually 4 hours ago that Jordan Harkins was declaring for the draft, but a
Well,
couple
that
of
makes
guys,
sense.
I'm sure his stock rose up more than a lot of those guys' stock rose up to the point where if they do well enough in the combine, do enough, and if they get a chance to get private workouts or just workouts in general, they could just impress in those, work hard. I can see a couple of them, get drafted in the second round. I
Well,
think
yeah, I got shoot late first, if anything.
late
I
first
would
round, yeah.
definitely agree with it.
Hmm.
I would definitely agree with it. I will say, like, if all right, so now I do want to talk about the beginning part of the game as far as
Yes,
breakdowns, man.
let's
I
talk
didn't
about
think
it.
it would go like this towards the end because if you watch the game, San Diego State had a kind of a hot start. They didn't start off shooting bad. It was actually like a 6-2 lead early in the first half, and they had like Aztec. They knocked down back-to-back threes, and I was like, oh, here we go. They led the Huskies for the first 5 minutes of the game. Connecticut couldn't shoot, but they finally caught up with back-to-back field goals. But once again, Tristan Newton and Odama Sanogo, they worked the ball inside, they worked the ball on the
Sure
wing,
did.
and they had good success from it. And the game was tied at 10 early on. So it gave you kind of vibes that this San Diego State might be able to compete with them a little bit.
Listen, the game to me was I knew it was going to be a slugfest. That's what I had
Yeah,
in mind. I knew it was going to be a
that's what
slugfest.
you
I
felt
said,
like, that's what it was given in the
and
beginning.
I was expecting it. I was expecting it. I was all for it. And it's crazy. I think because UConn dominated San Diego so bad, I actually read
Yeah.
something. It said UConn San Diego Final Four, like their Final Fours though, they actually gave the most historically low ratings, and obviously I think a lot of it was because San Diego State, right? Who's really cheering for San Diego State unless you're on the West Coast, right? Or you go there.
Mm-hmm.
UConn was probably the only premier big time school.
Big time.
Miami
Yep.
could, yeah, like Miami, good schools. Not really too familiar with their history, to be honest with you. That might be due to me just not paying attention to Miami a lot since Jaquan Newton. I think they had a couple of good teams over the years, but the last time I really remember them was when Jaquan Newton was there. But
Mm-hmm.
nah, UConn was doing the premier, so it makes sense. And I feel like the tournaments was well. I thought the San Diego game with Florida Atlantic was pretty damn good. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
especially
I
the
actually
ending.
like. Well, it ended in a buzzer beater. Like that game.
Right,
First of all,
that's the
I
story.
was busted my bet. First of all, my ticket was torn off of that. I had San Diego
Oh
State
my.
losing, and
Oof. You
that can do it attitude, man. They got that. Their defense has never been too shabby. They've always had like stifling and stubborn and stingy defense throughout the tournament. And they were able to like they gave up like a little bit in the first half, but they played good. They was able to fight back at the end, but that just go off the Cinderella tournament run that they've been on. And but I mean, look, man. I mean, listen. Let's not the Aztecs, San Diego State did what they did. They lost how they lost, but at the end of the day, let's not look at this. They've made the sweet. They've cracked. They've been not this far, but they've been deep in the NCAA tournament before. Even back in 2011 when Kawhi Leonard was on the team, they cracked the Sweet 16, I think, twice. and whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're looking, like you said before, the thing about UConn, that makes them so premier, much more premier brand.
They're
They've been
Miami.
they've been winning since 90. They've been winning since like 99. Um, like that's like well, they haven't made a run since 2014, and that's probably, but that's the NCAA tournament for you.
You
Like
you
it's really that much of a toss up. But for them to be this semi consistent in a tournament like the NCAA that can go either type of way, it really speaks to the nature of their brand, their school. So like you said, like they were one of the last big name brand schools left, and for a reason, man. But I think it's one of the most slept on. But what a game. What a game.
what again?
The San Diego State surprised me, but I'm sorry it had to end at the championship game. You make a run like that,
I
man,
know, and then it
you
was a
want to
mid,
cap it off.
and then it was a mid-major school too compared to UConn. So a mid-major
Yeah.
school going to win that would have been really historic. Like how the odds of that happening again is pretty damn low. Because March
Yeah.
Madness is so unpredictable. Is to me personally, outside of college football, one of the most entertaining sports of like literally because it's unpredictable. Anyone could be beaten. It don't even matter if your team has the best talent. You can still get beaten. Like it's just it's the adrenaline when you're watching the game, especially when you fill out brackets or you punching out tickets. Is like it's crazy. So definitely
And like you said, see, it's a roller coaster. And the thing is, I think the thing that makes it a roller coaster is the fact that any team can get hot and cold at any time. And that
right.
can determine a win. You only need one, you only need one
Exactly.
win. So and
And
like to that point, the Aztecs, the game before this, against Florida Atlantic, I think they shot over 40% from the field. I believe they shot over 40% from the field in general. See, they couldn't buy a bucket, bro. They shot like 30, barely 33%. I know, I think like as a whole, they shot 29%, bro. Like in the first half. Like, how you gonna come back from that? They were down 12 already. You got to make shots, man. You got to make shots, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, listen, Jordan Hawkins has 16. He spurt. They went on like a 9-0 spurt. I think he hit a couple threes at the top. And one of them were like one of the threes he hit was at the top of the key with like three. I think I think it was like in the second half. It helped. It helped try to. It helped basically seal the win for
right.
the Huskies, but the Aztecs just couldn't shoot it, bro. Like they just shot 29% from the field, like overall. That the closest they
When you
did, I think
play
they cut it to
defense,
6. I think
yeah,
they cut it to 6, bro, in the second half. But at the end of the day, the UConn just shot the ball better. Hot and cold, bro.
UConn
Hot
shot
and
the
cold,
ball.
man.
UConn shot the ball better. They played like they were the underdogs when we was looking at them as really I mean a lot of people was looking at them as like, hey, we expect y'all because y'all the really the only premier program left. So we kind of expect y'all to plus the way y'all been dominating this tournament is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well, you
kind
got
of
to give it.
expect you guys.
You know who I like though? I like Kashad Johnson
Of
for San
course.
Diego State.
Of
14
course.
points.
Of
San
course.
Diego State as a whole only shot 33 to finish the game. They only shot 33% to finish the game, 29% in the first half. But Kashad Johnson, he had a personal good shooting percentage, and he did what he could.
He did what he
But
could.
the UConn just maintained a double-digit lead throughout the first 10 minutes
And
of the second half, and they just never looked back, bro.
and UConn's coach, man, we didn't even we talked about so much about the players. We gotta get credit to the coach, man. I
Yeah,
remember
absolutely.
this team was struggling in the beginning, man, and not only were they were struggling, and then it's just his coaching style. You know, listen. My favorite college basketball is Kentucky. If you don't know, so I watch Coach Cal, right? So
Well, you gotta give Hurley his
he
props, bro. You gotta give Dan Hurley his props.
no, I yeah, but wait, hold on. So I've watched Coach Cal, and he screams a lot.
Uh-huh.
All right, he's a screamer, man, a real
Yeah,
screamer.
yeah, I love it. He's never sitting down.
Right. I love it too. But sometimes it's always one of those you got to restrain and balance it out. And sometimes I always felt like Calipari, maybe he went hard. He really went too hard. Sometimes I would feel like in terms of in coaching the game and stuff like that. Don Hurley, when I watch how he interacts with his players, how he's setting up plays, he's always calm. Even when a team's starting to come back, you don't see him flustered. He's so calm. It's almost like, listen, we got this. We just got to play our game, and we got this. He never really see him yell. I see him get excited, of course, when it was time to be excited. Had his little, so. But I just seeing his temperament, man, and just seeing where this team was. It just early in the season. And remember, last year they had lost too, so they had lost,
Yeah.
and he said at the press conference, that got to pull these quotes up before I say it, but he made a very impactful quote, very impressive
Mm-hmm.
quote, kind of like how yeah. So when Purdue lost and the coach for and the team that they had lost to, right when he gave up his little speech, it was one of those. So he gave one of those amazing quotes, and he's just been phenomenal. And man, he's definitely cemented himself in the UConn history books. They'll love him forever. They'll probably build him a statue if he wins another one. If he can win another one, because it's so hard to win a champ. And once again, this goes back to the how hard it is for the March Manson. You got to give the credit to the coaches that have a winning record now, because anybody can lose. I've seen the best of coaches lose in the first round, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
firsthand, my team lost to St. Peter's. Who would imagine?
Yeah,
Who would
that
imagine,
hurt.
right?
And then how
Right,
about that run Princeton was on?
right.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, but everything is evened out now to where the blue bloods aren't the most dominant. It could be,
Mm-hmm.
and even if it was the Blue Bloods were the most dominant, college basketball was always still exciting because it was always unpredictable. But you always had that underlying feeling that one of the Blue Bloods would end up coming out with it because there were UCLA, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. I'm throwing UConn in there now. I know I'm missing another school of Blue Blood, but no, seriously. March Madness is hard, so give credit to the coaches that have a winning record right now,
Absolutely. Well, you got
especially
to look
those
at,
that have a championship. It's hard,
yeah,
man.
you got to look at Hurley's pedigree, man, and like even like he's coached against Bobby Duke in 1992, the Sweet 16 game that was in our hometown, baby Philly. That
Yes, sir.
he's earned his stripes. He's been tested before, I believe. Like I
So
think
yes,
like he wound up. So basically, he just fixed UConn, bro. Just like what school was he at before? I believe it was Rhode Island, 6 seasons, and before that, he was the assistant coach at Wagner for 2 seasons there. So it's like yeah, man, like he's there for 6 years. In UConn, I wouldn't be surprised
deserve
if he gets those kids over that hump again.
absolutely.
And
I'm not never
just off his
underestimating
pedigree
UConn.
and
Yeah,
yeah, I like him. I like it.
I'm
Once again,
never
hats off to UConn.
underestimating UConn. That's you. That's a team I'm gonna specifically. I've always paid attention to like the Big East just because it's
Mm-hmm.
really that's where we're really from. Philadelphia. If you guys don't know, the majority of the restricted zone class is from Philadelphia. So I really pay
Yeah.
attention. So I really So I really pay attention to the Big East. So I always looked at UConn, followed them here and there, but now I'm genuinely interested. Might be because of the recent bias, but I was really impressed by how UConn's coach Don Hurley was. I just loved the way he was interacting. It was just so calm, and he just oozes confidence. He just oozes it. Like he walks in, and defeat's not even in his mind. Right? That's
I love it.
that type of mindset is that's how you strive and go far in life anyway. And he listen, he's showing it. He's winning, and that's the best thing you can prove. The best stamp of approval, whatever you want, acknowledgement. He won. So whatever the haters got to say about him, bring up his past failures, whatever. He's a winner now. So
You cutting the
UConn,
net down.
okay, he's the one that cutting the naps down. Kentucky lost. Purdue lost to a 16 seed team.
Let's
Uh,
go. How about that?
Listen, UConn deserved it. No one expected them to win. I'm happy for them, and it's crazy because the last time they won, they had actually beat us, and we wasn't even expected to go to the championship. So
Yeah.
it's kind of bittersweet seeing you kind of. So their last championship is beating us, which is historic, but we weren't even expected to get there. And then they beat and just dominated San Diego State, which was a mid-major program that played exceptionally well, hit clutch shots, got some tough nose players, but UConn just proved they was just better overall. And
Shout out Brian Dutcher, San Diego State's
yeah,
head
of
coach.
course. Shout
Yeah.
out to him. Hopefully he can make another run like this. I hope so. I love seeing the underdogs get a shine. Definitely love seeing stuff like Purdue. I really was. I was shocked and mad, but then I said, "Wow, we don't have the worst loss. They do. They absolutely got the worst loss."
Yeah.
So Purdue, shout out to Purdue. To all the Purdue fans. No, sorry, but yeah, you guys know you guys have to win a championship to redeem that. There's no other way. Honestly, you got to win a championship. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the women's college basketball. And man,
Okay now.
and now I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I enjoyed it more than the men's. And people are gonna say, "What?" Yeah, I think thoroughly women's college basketball is starting to turn into like a powerhouse now.
Come on, man, talk about it. Ain't
It's
not too many people gonna question that. About 7.2 million people viewed, channeled in, tuned in,
at 12.12.
including me. Or was it 12?
Yeah, it was actually close. Remember, the college, the men's Final Four in tournament was really, really low.
Uh-huh.
College women's just shot up. Like it was close. Remember, it got to 12.9 million viewers. And remember, I think the men's was 14.7. So it's
Yeah.
like it wasn't that really far behind, to be honest with you. And I guarantee you next year it'll probably match up with the men's. I hope so, because I think it's pretty damn entertaining. And from that Final Four in the championship game, yeah, I think women's college basketball is something I recommend for any viewers and listeners. Definitely gotta take a look at it. If you haven't, I recommend looking at the championship game, and just kind of get a feel for what the modern women's college basketball and basketball players are, because it's not like how it was before. These girls are talented, athletic. They got a variety of offensive moves. Some of them are pulling offensive moves that I don't even see some men doing. They just listen. I'm excited for the women's game, man.
They got some swag to them. They
So
got some
let's
swag to them. We diving into this recap, baby.
we gotta dive right into it. So first, let's start with the meat and potatoes first. I like to just dig in for what I like first. Listen, South Carolina and Iowa, Iowa State to be exact. Man, this was the matchup that kind of started all of the great storyline of college basketball to a certain extent until South Carolina and Iowa State. A lot of people, including myself, thought this was gonna be a really tough game. It was really a toss up to a lot of people. Some people remember they got the previous champions, South Carolina. They're
Yep.
undefeated, right? And then you got this generational talent in Caitlin Clark, who some call her the young Steph Curry. Some call her like she got so many NBA comparisons because she can let that thing fly. She
From
can
the
drop.
parking lot.
She can, from the parking lot.
In the
And
gym. She parks the car, she gets out the car, she's in range.
nah, that's crazy. And you're not wrong. But listen, listen, she can give you a double double. She can really average a double double. She can really average. I feel like if she wanted to average a triple double, she could. I just feel like maybe she probably won't focus on the boards because she's really got to get physical, but you don't want her to get hurt, so you don't want her to really focus on that. But she's that type of talent where I believe she could do it, and she's been phenomenal this entire, just not just the tournament, just the season. But the tournament, she really cemented herself as must watch. Iowa State games are going to be filled and packed. Tickets are going to be high because they got a genuine superstar talent, and she's got the national media attention, and that's well deserved for her because she's that type of generational talent.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm not gonna lie, she came out of nowhere. That game, it showed. I mean, I noticed her a little bit in the highlights. In the games leading up to the battle against South Carolina. And honestly, even back then, even when I watched that game then, I didn't have them winning. I had South Carolina taking it. I mean, shoot, man, they were on a quest for a perfect season and back-to-back national championships. Like, that would have been history for them. They
Right.
lost by 4 to those guys, 77-73. And I just was like, it snapped up. What was it? They were like a 42 game winning streak at that time. And I'm like, wow. Like, are you kidding me? Caitlin Clark, dude. And I'm just like even
I
real quick,
said,
I just want a quick
wait,
shout out to Zaya Cook.
Zion Cook.
South Carolina's best player, led the team with 24 points. Still wasn't enough. Threes just covered a multitude of sins. Caitlin Clark, bro, like
Wait,
she was the
Johnny.
Cinderella of the tournament.
Wait. You said Zion Cook. Wait. So in your opinion, I just want to little
South Carolina,
backtrack with you.
Zaya
So you
Cook.
said that's South Carolina's best player in your opinion?
Man, that day, shoot, she played
That
all
day.
40 minutes.
Hey,
Didn't sit down.
that's why I
Led the
wanted
team in
them to
scoring.
win. That's why I wanted to. She played like she was like
Jordan
Russ.
type minutes, man.
She was like I would have loved, but she worked. But
You know what
go
I'm
ahead,
saying?
Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny. Keep going.
But yeah, but with that being said, I just want to just explain that's the type of hill that Caitlin Clark took that team over. Like you said, like she was the Cinderella, like she was Steph. Like the women's Steph Curry at that time.
Right.
She finished with a game high 41 points. Like 41 points, dude. I think the second highest on the team was 10 points by Monica Cesano. Contributed with 10 points of her own. I think that was like the second or third highest, but 41 points Caitlin Clark dropped on them, and I'm just
Yeah.
yeah, it was just crazy. You just can't stop the shooting when you're on. You were on, and I was just like, yo. It even got down to the final minutes or the final seconds, 21 seconds left in the game. The Gamecocks, South Carolina was down by 2. Caitlin Clark missed a 3 from the left wing, but they couldn't they couldn't haul in the offensive rebound, and it would had to force the foul and lost the game at the foul line. But like, I'm just not gonna lie, bro. Like, she was 15 to 31. Caitlin Clark was 15 to 31. She not only did she have 41 points, she was 15 to 31. That's almost 50% from the
Right.
3-point line, um, including those clutch fourth late free throws to put the game out of reach. Besides her scoring, like you said, she's she's an underrated passer, finding her teammates cutting to the rim. Like she stretches the defense out because she can pull from the hash mark. All you gotta do is set a high screen for her, just roll to the basket, send a backdoor cutter. She's gonna find somebody. If she's
Right.
not, she's gonna be open and she's gonna knock it down. She was like, she had 8 assists along with those 41 points.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's just like that type of talent and that type of ability to create that she's able to do. It led to 38 points in the paint for Iowa as a team overall. So even though they were technically on paper smaller than South Carolina, South Carolina was bigger than Iowa. They should have outscored them in the paint. But Caitlin Clark's ability to shoot and her ability to create, just like that's just the type of player that she was, man. And she came out of nowhere, like heck of a game. Like, what an underdog. And so that just set it up for the LSU matchup.
Man, and I definitely want to talk about South Carolina because, man, you got to think South Carolina is going to lose a lot of, like, their whole team is going to be drastically different next year, right? Because you got to think uh the 22, they're the 22 national champions, and they're going to probably lose about 7 to 6 seniors, right? Because you got to
Mm-hmm.
think their mate Zia Cook, Aaliyah Boston, Bria Bill, I believe Olivia Thompson and Letitia. Now I really can't pronounce the last name.
Leticia
Letitia
Meir
Amir, all right,
and
Letitia Amir.
Olivia Thompson. You got
So
Boston
basically,
Cook there. Yeah, they got
right.
the
So
option of returning. They got the option to come back if they
I
want
mean,
to.
but they really don't need to. I feel like at this
They
point,
probably okay. They'll probably go ahead to the next
they
level.
don't listen. Their overall record 129 and only 9 losses, 6 combined SEC titles, 3 consecutive Final Four, and 1 national championship. Really, they should have had 2 in my opinion, and they should have had beat Stanford. But hey, this is probably one of the most dominant recruiting classes in college, in women's college basketball, having a class like that they were so successful. And shout out to Don Staley for being able to recruit. She's definitely
Yeah.
shown she's been able to recruit. And
Well,
she's going to continue to recruit the best of the best because they know she has the personality, the charisma, the intelligence, the whatever you want to describe her as a coach as being phenomenal. She fits the adjective. So she's that
and a
great
heck
of
of
a
a
coach.
player too. Philadelphia, baby,
Absolutely.
hometown chick.
Hall of Famer and everything, man. She came from Philadelphia, so I'm always astounded to see someone from Philadelphia just excel in anything in life. So Don Staley, and then I want to talk about the point guard Raven Johnson for the team. Now,
Absolutely.
to me personally, she is a number 2. She was the former number 2 overall recruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, she's a redshirt freshman backup point guard, right? And
Mm-hmm.
despite what anyone says about the loss, and despite the viral moment of Caitlin Clark waving her off, right? She turned in her best performance. I just want to say, Washington, she put in 13 points for 5-11 shooting. She did have a career high three pointers, guys, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and she only had 1 turnover in 30 minutes of play. That's phenomenal. As a backup point guard, you're playing like that in the biggest game in your career. I think a lot of people are overlooking that because of the viral moment. I definitely want to put that out there before everyone before we talk about that, so people have the understanding of who she is. She is a very very talented young woman, and I think Don Staley being her coach telling her the ways of she's gonna unlock and maximize her potential as a point guard. So don't be surprised when she's probably averaging a double double in points and assists. Maybe not the points because she's not really looking to score all the time, but best believe her assists will be up in the 8 9s. I'm really expecting to be the 8 9s, possibly double digits. That's how talented of a point guard she is. So South Carolina's in good hands. But let's
Yeah,
talk about
underrated with the clutch factor too, man. She knocked down a three to cut the lead down to 68-69. They was
right.
down one before Caitlin Clark answered back with a layup. But Raven Johnson's ability to compete at a young age, I like the future. I like the tenacity.
Right. So, and so those are for the casual fans, but anyone that just don't know and they only saw the viral clip of so that is who Raven Johnson is. So that's who, Caitlin Clark waved off when she was at the 3 point. And uh and also I want to get your thoughts on that, John. Just describe that to me. Some people felt it was disrespectful. Some people felt like, hey, if she know that she's a non-threat from the three, why commit energy? Is a lot of different opinions. Some people say it's disrespect. Some people say strategizing, coaching. It's all about winning. Who gives it? Just give me your thoughts on that one.
I'm I'm just gonna answer it like this.
Talk to me.
If they were men, would we care? Would we question this? If they were men, the media would be eating this up as entertainment. Why can't they compete? Why can't these
Mm,
women show why can't they show emotion? Why are they why do they always have to be the ones to curtsy and lose like a lady and win like a lady? Like sometimes these
right.
women are athletes and raw competitors just like
The man.
any other athlete. And sometimes that raw emotion comes out. Sometimes you taunt. Sometimes you talk a little bit of trash. Sometimes it comes with the game. If you're a natural competitor, if you ever competed in anything sport like in your life, and you have love for what you're competing for, I think things like that happen. I feel like the media, you would now. I will say this: we don't see this type of thing often with women's sports. We do not. I don't want to say that there's like an unspoken stigma there, to where as though we're not expecting it, and then if we do see it, it looks we kind of maybe the media halfway frowns upon it in some nature because they're not used to seeing things like that coming from women's sports nature. I don't have a problem with it.
I
I
don't
like it.
either.
I personally, at the end of the day,
I
you do
understand
want to
the other
control it
side.
because there's a line with sportsmanship. There's a line with like holding the league to a certain type of standard. I get if you want to get that political, fine. I get it. You should have a line to an extent based off that notion. But overall, like let it ride, man. Let these women play. Let them compete. Let them taunt. Let them talk. Let them like man, dude. Did I remember the one time way back when. Ben Simmons played for the 76ers, and we played the Lakers at one point. LeBron was like guarding him at the free throw line on purpose.
Hmm.
Like it was kind of taunting him in a way, almost. We were halfway. People were laughing at that.
I just
Now
feel
you got
like
Caitlin Clark doing the same thing here, and now all of a sudden the media wants to look at it as, oh, it's disrespectful. Like, come on, man! Let these women play the game how they're meant to play. If emotions get shown, it's okay. These women are competitors. I have no problem with it.
I mean, and this might not be a fair comparison because it's NBA. Oh, it's NBA. But I would just say when teams do it to Ben Simmons, do you guys question that and say, oh that's because we all know Ben Simmons can't shoot. So it's like me personally, I don't personally disagree with a team doing that because he's really you clog the lane. He's really so. Do you guys complain about that? Is that unfair? So that's why just because some people might say that's the NBA, you can't do that. It's
Yeah,
different,
but even to
but
that point, it's part of a general game plan. It's part of a general game plan. Any coach does that. If you notice, you look at any sport of basketball, it's literally on a scouting report of who can shoot and who cannot. That Kobe got RIP to Kobe. He lived his life in the film room, basing his defense off of who can shoot and who cannot. You should know how to guard your opponent. And if I know you can't shoot, coaches are telling players leave him open. He can't shoot.
right.
So I personally have no problem with it. I think it's part of basketball. You want to make people respect it, then you get better in that aspect. Plain and simple.
Absolutely, you took the words right out of my mouth. Me personally, if I'm Raven Johnson, I only look at that I'm in the gym that same day, that same night. I'm putting up shots. Nah, that was embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it from a standpoint, she might have been embarrassed, might have felt embarrassed and disrespected, right? Just like, but like we said, Johnny's part of the game. If you're not a super threat from the three, or you're, and if a team can really live with you taking that shot, then that means you're not that great of a 3-point shooter. So if I'm her, I hope I'm expecting she's able to catch and shoot, like she's not hesitating. Because listen, that's the only way to kind of redeem that and to make anyone pay that undercuts you in the pick and roll, et cetera, et cetera. Like, yeah, you gotta make them pay. So I know she's a hard worker. Her work ethic's never been questioned. It's always been praised. So I'm pretty sure she was probably in the gym the next day putting up shots and just getting that work in. So definitely listen. South Carolina to me is still an exciting team. Look forward to seeing them next year. Iowa too, but we still got to talk about Iowa, of course. But LSU they beat it Virginia Tech. It was a competitive game. Angel Reese took over in the second half. She only had 2 rebounds, I think, in the first half. In the second half, she grabbed like 10 or 11. Yeah, got another. I think that was her 33rd double double. How many total double doubles did she have? 34, 35. I
That was
think that
about 34. I think she had about
34.
34.
Right, so she had 33 versus Virginia Tech. So now 34 and error. So I really want to talk a little bit about Virginia Tech. Highly competitive game. Shout out to Virginia Tech for even making it that far too. You just don't hear about Virginia Tech in the women's college basketball game in terms of making it that far to the tournament. So hopefully,
Yeah.
they can have another run like that. But they was pretty impressive. But man, listen, I'm so stoked to talk about Iowa and LSU. Forgive me, Virginia Tech, and for those that wanted me to talk about it. It was really a nice game, but we got to get to the meat and potatoes. What we all been waiting for: LSU versus Iowa, which I thought was better than the men's college basketball game. I thought was probably the highlight of the college basketball. Yes, that game was the highlight of college basketball, in my opinion. And I think the women's college basketball game will be just as entertaining as the men's from here on out, just because of 2 particular individuals. Angel Reese, Bayou Barbie. I know I'm saying it wrong. I think I had my coworker correcting me because I said it wrong. I think I'm saying it wrong again. He's gonna probably hear this and kill me for this, but hey, I'm gonna just stick with it for now. Please don't kill me. Bayou Barbie, am I right,
Yeah,
Johnny? Am I right?
you got to get it right. Angel Reese,
Angel
you got
Reese.
to get it right.
Yeah, I'm gonna just call it Angel Reese. I don't want to
There
because I
you
know
go. Oh, and
yeah,
real quick,
Angel
we got to
Reese.
get it right. That was her 33rd triple double.
33rd triple double. So 32 against Virginia Tech, 33.
Yeah,
Okay, listen, she was a
33rd.
double double monster. Listen, let's talk about the game. Man, I was entertained from the second. Yo, you felt the atmosphere. You felt the fans. It was so crowded. I was genuinely surprised how packed it was. But then considering all the storyline and lineup building up to it, LSU felt disrespected for South Carolina, et cetera, et cetera. And man, this game was electrifying, man. And but I do want to say this before I swing it to you, Johnny. If I had to describe this game, if you guys wanted, because I'm gonna give my long explanation, but to summarize it for the people that may not have time, if I had to describe this championship game, it was a classic example of you had the generational talent in Clark, and she was literally. I look at her situation as when AI was going against the Lakers in 2001. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
look at it.
I like
That's how I
that.
look at it. That's how I
I
look at
like
it.
that.
You had a generational talent, but she was going off. She nearly brought them back in the second half,
Mm-hmm.
but she just man, she just couldn't. Me personally, LSU was stacked from 1 to 5. Like it, you had Alexis Morris. We're gonna talk about her later, right? You had I call it Big Four, right? That's what she goes by.
Yep.
Johnson, Big Four Johnson. She's a tenacious defender, and she the confidence to shoot it never been an issue with her. She never listen. Confidence is on Kobe level, right? Listen, they were stacked. Katie Poole. Then you had man. Listen, Williams, Reese. They were stacked, man, and I was surprised that Caitlin Clark almost brought them back within 7, I think, at one point. I think maybe in the third quarter, she had
Yeah.
brought them back within 7 to 6.
Yeah. It
Man,
was
yeah, and I was like, wow, is she really gonna come back down from 17, 19 points? Is she really? Is she? But then Alexis Morris, man, I tell you, man. And then, but we gotta give it to Jasmine first for the first half. Without her, I don't even think they have Alexis Morris. She's able to, come up with that performance to, make sure that they
22 points.
like no
Well,
Jasmine. Shout
21
out
of
to
them in the first
Jasmine.
half.
All right,
21 points in the first half.
21 from wait. Well, I'm gonna say a little bit more if I swing to you, Johnny. But like I said, back to my original point. This was the
Mm-hmm.
classic of you had a generational player that went against an all-around superior talent, and that's what it was. That's what it came down to, in my opinion. And I really feel like if you took Alexis Morris and you took away Jasmine Clark and you keep Reese and you keep Williams, I think this game is a lot different. Now, who's to say who wins? I don't know because the LSU is still talented. But I'm saying let's dilute the talent. Let's dilute the talent of LSU. Are we looking at this game like an overtime type of game instead of like a dominant?
Nah, I would say
No.
if you take away the talent from LSU,
Okay.
then Iowa wins this game.
No. Well, no, I was gonna see that's what I'm saying. No, but this only proves my point. LSU has so much talent that I'm trying to dilute. I took two of the high scorers. So I'm
Yeah.
saying, so is that more competitive of a game? Not to say that it wasn't competitive originally, but man,
Well,
I was hoping that game went to overtime. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah.
That's how I didn't
Well,
want it to end. I didn't want it to
well,
end. It was that good.
well, sure, you take away those players, like you said. See, I think LSU still dominates because one thing I want to add is the coach, Kim Mulkey. I actually want to
Oh
give her a
man,
shout out.
one in
The winning,
Baylor.
the win, yeah, yes, she got three, I think, with Baylor. '05,
Oh, five.
2012, and 2019. So
Yep.
her alone, and she was an assistant coach, I think, elsewhere, and one with them as well. I forgot what team is escaping me right now. But so to answer your question, see, I think Kim Mulkey still picks them up, even if they don't have those players that you had mentioned that you wanted to take out. Because she just got those girls together in 2 years, and look what she did with that organization. But basically, with everything she touches turns to gold, including the blazer she wore in that championship game. That thing was shining, man.
Hey,
Like, my goodness. But
listen.
listen, at the end of the day, right? Let's just break this down real fast,
Oh
man. At
God.
the end of the day, LSU was just bigger. Like just like South Carolina was bigger too, but the difference is Caitlin Clark was able to exploit. I'm not South Carolina. I'm sorry. Who the Iowa beat to get to LSU?
Uh,
The team we were just talking about. They were bigger than them on
right.
paper, but Caitlin Clark was able to exploit that defense and get her and help her team get into the paint. Now with LSU, they clogged the paint a little bit more. They were already bigger with Iowa, and they just were a little bit more aggressive. They had 14 offensive rebounds, and which led to 14 second chance points. So every time they got the ball back, they made it count. Just putbacks, just rebounds, putbacks. Jasmine Carson, rebounds, putbacks, and they just basically just beat them in the paint. And at the end of the day, and at the end of the game, Iowa got in foul trouble, and then that basically just sealed it for LSU. They just basically beat them inside out. I didn't think that inside game would beat the outside game for once. I've never seen it. Like threes always covered a multitude of sins. But at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark got cold and she didn't get enough help. And just Angel Reese and just all those other players that you had mentioned, all of the other multiple talent players that LSU had came together and they were able to just like get over, just basically just clog up and stifle and just suffocate Iowa in the paint. And at the end of it was, I mean, shoot, with even back to Jasmine Carson, let's not forget, like, this is like her third stop. She was at Georgia Tech and West Virginia before that. She finally found a place where her talent and she finally found a coach that can basically, expose her potential or put her in places on the court to make her game better, where she can excel more and where she can take her talents to the next level. And at the end of the day, 54% from the field, leading for more than 34 minutes. They also hit 10 threes in their own right. So I know we talk about Caitlin Clark, like I think their season high was 11. LSU has to ratchet a little bit too, because there was a stint where they were going back and forth on threes. I forgot what that stint was in that game.
Electrifying. It's crazy.
But it was like, yeah, when it was like three straight possessions or four straight possessions, three. They traded threes for like 3, 4,
possessions. That was pretty entertaining. And that's one word I wanted to sum up. If I had a word to sum up for this thing, I would say surprising.
Right.
Surprising. Surprisingly entertaining. Why did I enjoy this game so much? Like, wow, these girls balled out. They hoop.
Man,
So
and now
very competitive.
thoroughly entertained. Like I said, this was a classic, one man versus the army. Literally, I feel like Caitlin Clark through at times almost willed this team, but LSU was just superior. And shout out to LSU. And man, those girls' lives are changing for the better day in and day out. Like Angel Reese just said, she got so many A-list celebrities from like Wayne to DJ Khaled and Drake and Bron. They're showing their support, standing
Well,
behind her.
New Orleans know how to party.
NBA young boy, they all showing love, and man, I think she's like probably the highest paid women's college athlete right now. Literally, she has
Uh,
17 endorsements and has way. That's just what they're just telling us. I'm telling you, she probably has like 30 or more. Like
yeah,
she
shout out for the ability of young athletes to be able to get endorsements and for that next step to
Absolutely.
be
That's
taken
good.
to be taken.
She just dropped a jersey, officially licensed jersey. So
Uh,
go support her, go buy her jersey. You're gonna look cool. Everyone's gonna look at you like, yo, yeah, you got some swag. No, let me stop. No one said swag, but let me stop. No, but it's definitely unisex too. So male, female. Just go check it out on Instagram. It's dope. I'm definitely so like you said, Johnny, for these athletes to because remember these guys would make so much. Look at all that money that they made. The women's side made from that year. Imagine if the women's couldn't even earn a percent of that. That'd be
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
These guys probably put the best NCAA double game in women's in the past year, like years. I haven't watched the last championship, so that tells you something. Not to be disrespectful, but this was by far. If these are what the games are looking like in the near future, oh, a thousand
Oh
percent.
man,
Oh, a
I
thousand
like it.
percent I'm watching it. I'll be more than
Absolutely.
glad to I'll be more than glad to be in a rush to get home from work to watch it. Wait, my cousin's going, wait, you watching? Well, yeah, yeah.
Man, they gonna get with it to get lost.
Eventually, that's gonna be the wave now. And eventually, women NBA will get the same respect as as the NBA. I really believe that. And if these girls, I feel like they need to change the 4 year college stay. I feel like that limits uh, I think Gilbert Arenas said something on this podcast about why the WNBA doesn't have the same excitement of pop because a lot of these girls play in the college system for 4 years. So you're taking away all their creativity, all their, as compared to doing whether a one and done or a two and done where, they get, okay, they understand the system and probably the fundamentals of some of them are really raw, but they still get to keep their creativity and that spice and pop. Like, the little crossovers, like Alexis Morris, her mid range game was phenomenal. It was
She gives me,
the mid range is a loss, all right, but now I'm starting to see some guys are bringing it back. Fox,
yep, I
Shea,
got it. Yeah,
DeMar
yeah,
DeRozan, Deep Book. Now we starting to see it. Now Kobe was
yeah.
telling, listen, the mid range game is deadly, and she definitely
Well,
got the best in women's college basketball.
she gives me Simone Augustus vibes. That's the name
Ooh,
drop from here. Former
I,
used to play for the Minnesota Lynx. Former
if
champion Simone
LSU,
Augustus.
former
Yeah,
LSU too.
LSU. There you go. She gives me. If you watch her play, and yes, I will admit I haven't watched. I do check in on the WNBA. We are sports fanatics.
We're sports fanatics.
We're sports junkies at heart, y'all. Listen, we
Yes.
tune in and listen. I've watched Simone Augustus play, and you talk about the art of the mid range game. That's what spurred her to the success that she has. And Angel Reese looks like a younger version of her when I saw her playing. She gives me Simone Augustus vibes.
Alexis, no, Alexis Morris to me, how she was calmly
No, Alexis
and
Morris. I'm
every.
sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I was about to say
Alexis
every.
Morris gives me Simone Augustus vibes.
Literally, I think in the fourth quarter it turned into a Caitlin Clark versus Alexis Morris until Caitlin Clark just couldn't hit the shots, and Alexis Morris every time she came down
Yeah,
seemed like she was hitting everything. It was
bro. I
like
mean,
some of
shoot,
those. It was
Caitlin,
like
Caitlin,
some.
Caitlin definitely tried, bro. Nine. I think she had 9 straight points by herself to try to bring
No,
them back.
she
She
listen. Shout
finished
out to
with
Caitlin.
25. Yeah,
Shout out to
she's coming in.
Caitlin.
She came into that tournament. She came into that game with back-to-back 40-point performances. If you talk,
Nah,
you talk about AI, no, you talk about AI no one. You talk
Nah,
about
she
AI no
literally
one big fight.
that
Give
was
her some help.
it was
And
like,
she's got, and we
man,
got it, and we can see her for one more year. I think she's a junior. We
one
should
more
get see
year,
her.
and I'm excited for it. I'm
Yeah,
excited. That's
absolutely.
why, listen, NCAA, and it's not even just those two. I have been watching women's college basketball over the past 3 years, and they got it's not just those two. You got Deja Kelly from North Carolina. You got Tennessee women's basketball. I think Rakia Jackson is still there. I'm trying
Absolutely.
to
Yep.
think. I think in Notre Dame, Olivia Miles. Oh my God, Bucky, she the potential double double.
Cassia Johnson.
Oh, listen to me. Duke women's basketball. I think they just lost a freshman. I think when she's a sophomore. I think her last name is Wilson, and she was transferring. I thought that was really their best
Ah,
player. So I don't know where does Duke go with that, but listen to me, man. There's a lot of talent. The talent is spread all around women's college basketball. It's
absolutely.
definitely diverse. You're gonna be entertained and watching whoever is playing D1, especially what is the top tier and the top ranked teams. Hey guys, I'm telling you, we're sports junkie, as my man Johnny, the advocate, said. Listen, definitely give women college basketball, just women's basketball a shot, man. Just give it a chance and we'll try to let it grow on you because these girls need support because they really play hard and they really. I'm thoroughly entertained, and like I said, I
Yeah,
love.
listen to us, man, just geeking out over here. Sports
Yeah,
geeks,
right.
just geeking out,
Who
baby.
imagine us? Right, right. You what podcast has seen two young men talk about women's college? So definitely,
Come
man.
on.
That's
Shout
how
out to the
good.
female.
Shout out to the that's how impressive the game was to me. I'm still talking. I still try to talk about it with other people throughout the day. Like it was. I love the game. Like if that's how it comes next season, best believe I'm gonna be talking about women's college basketball a lot more in future episodes. But now that we done talking about the game, we got to talk about some of the controversy of after the game. So Angel Reese, she was really under fire, man. She got a lot of hateful comments. She was trending for a couple of days straight. Basically, she taunted Caitlin Clark. She did the "You Can't See Me" John Cena, one of my favorite wrestlers in WWE. Did this little taunt, but Caitlin Clark did it to Haley Van Leaf, another great college basketball for Louisville on the women's side. She did that. You can't see me to Haley's face, and that was when she was praised as a competitor, et cetera, et cetera. The mentality, and then Angel Reese does it, and she got major extreme backlash, like hateful
Don't forget the
comments.
ring me. Don't forget the ring
Don't
me
forget,
too. See, don't
I
forget the
love that.
ring me.
I love that one more than that. To be
Because
honest with
that
you.
was Aaron Donald. Come on, bro, that's Aaron Donald. Why when he did it, nobody had a problem when she do it? It's an issue. See what I'm saying?
So man, but she got a lot of support as she should because that was it's
Politics, baby.
this is
Listen,
sports.
controversy sells. Go ahead, girl.
This
You
is
go ahead,
sports.
sister.
Listen to me. If you was talking trash to me during the game and I win, I'm gonna talk especially if I contributed and she did. She got a double double. So it wasn't like she didn't contribute. She just
Prove it.
see this is what I'm saying. That team was so talented. She's not even the best player sometimes on that team. Alexis Morris was the best player because the second half she literally willed them. The second best player was Jasmine because the first half setting it up for Alexis Morris to take over this in the second half. And Angel Reese, that's what I'm saying. The best player, Angel Reese is honestly the best talented player on that team, but she doesn't even have to be the best player on the floor every night. And that you don't understand for a superstar talent how much of a relief that is. So nah, she got that was literally Kobe, Shaq, and versus AI by himself. Literally. It was just that's just my analogy if anyone disagrees. But no. So a lot
I
of
agree, bro.
absolutely, but a lot of controversy to that, and like you said, I thought it was complete nonsense. It's competitive. This is sports. I loved it actually. I think that you would love this because you would that and look, Angel Reese said it herself. There's no beef. Caitlin Clark said she shouldn't have been targeted like that. Caitlin's that's not the exact word she said, but she shouldn't have felt like the criticism that went Angel Reese. It shouldn't really have gone her way. This is sports. We talk shit in sports. I talk shit in sports. I don't care, right? If I'm you talking trash to me, we gonna talk shit. Now I don't care if we talk the whole game, right? And especially if I hit a shot and we win the game, oh, best believe I'm talking. Because that's sports. It's competitive. As long as we don't cross the line, we say personal things to each other, but that's sports. That's what makes the game fun. Even more
Hey,
fun, to be
T,
honest with you.
Hey, see, they think trash talking is bad. So they shouldn't tell the younger generation not to watch The Last Dance by Michael Jordan. Go to practice with Michael Jordan. Go to practice with Kobe, and let him see you slacking, and you
Oh man, I'm
he'll grow
telling you.
you up real quick.
This generate today's world, man, and I hate to say it, but this is the restricted zone, and this is the restricted zone. You walk into it, you're gonna enter the restricted zone. We're gonna talk about stuff that people don't really want to touch on. And I feel like in this world now, everything is just so soft, man. It's ridiculous. It's not even just sports, just in comedy and just. And I don't even want to get into all that. I don't want to divert from the sports, but we could touch on that if you guys do want us to, but. Nah, it was just complete nonsense. It was unfair, and I just hate that it was happening to her because that was overshadowing their championship to me, and that's not fair because the game should have been. I should like how we talked about the game for the first 40 minutes. We was excited talking about the game, but that got overshadowed. A brilliant March Madness game is honestly getting overshadowed because of competitors taunting each other and saying that where's the sportsmanship. You had some famous people, some famous I think Barstool owner from Gilly and Wallow's $1 million worth of game.
Yeah, $1 million worth
Yeah,
of game.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He tweeted and
Philly
called her.
podcast.
Yeah, he tweeted her and called her a effing idiot. And I'm like, man, how old are you? Come on, man. How old are you? So
Yeah.
you were that upset to direct that at a what 20, 21 year old? Like how says I'm telling you, age is just a number, man. I don't know how old that man right is. I don't know how old he is. But age is just a number when you make comments like that. You show who you really are. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, I think he wanted her to. I think we're supposed to be held in a higher standard because of our skin color. But at the end of the day, I think, and like you said, sports, man, emotion is involved. I don't think that should count right there. I don't
like
think that.
complete. And then what was even more disrespectful is you got the first lady of the White House saying, "Let's invite Iowa because of sportsmanship." I just feel like at that point,
Yeah,
like, are you
yeah.
really like so what? You guys wake up and try to figure out how to disrespect and belittle our accomplishment day in day out because that's when has there ever been, like that's nonsense. And she took it back. And right, she said it was a she said some dumb statement to try to cover, but nobody was buying that. She genuinely wanted like complete nonsense. All right, just listen. If I'm Andrew Reese, I don't even go to the White House. Right, F it. I'm not going. And I'm going. I love what she said. Can she go with Obama? Let Obama do that, please. Shout out to Obama. I feel like he would do it. And if he did, and if I'm, not up to date, forgive me. But I really hope. But if not, I hope he does do it. I don't even want to see them at the. That was just disrespectful. Point blank. Period. She
At
knew
the
what she
end of
was
the day,
doing. Who does that? That's never been done in history. Why now? Well, why would this be an exception? So no, 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 not trying to hear the excuse for it. Obama, I really hope he does do it. I feel like he is, and I would. That's gonna be a historic photo right there.
hmm
Definitely something for the ages.
tell the media to stay out of it, man. Always trying to turn controversy into something.
Nonsense. All right, but with that being said, that concludes episode 99, part two. Thanks a lot for everyone sticking it out with us. If you sticking it out with us this far, we really appreciate you guys tuning into the episode. We can't thank you guys enough. Johnny, I want to give a big thank you to you. I mean, you was just phenomenal as a fellow co-host. When it's just you and me, I think we just had like really a dynamic. We got the seven of us. It's really seven of us. It's only seven of us, but we all, take turns because we're all busy working through school, jobs and everything like that. So so not all of us comes on each episode every time, but we'll try to be more consistent with trying to have all of us in each episode. If you guys prefer that, the fans, but yeah, Johnny, this is always dope when it's when we come together, man. So appreciate it, man. You're a phenomenal coach.
1v1 is always a W.
Yes, sir. And with that being said, you can definitely check us out on Instagram at Restricted Zone Pod. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. You can definitely follow us on Instagram and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's also going to be in the link inside the description below. Please subscribe. Be on the lookout for it because this episode and the next episode will be on YouTube. So please be on the lookout for that. Make sure that you're able to subscribe so you get the post notifications. Share it with your friends. It doesn't hurt. It's free. Uh, and we really appreciate the support. And we definitely want to keep coming with more content. A website is currently being developed, so be on the lookout for the website. It'll be launching somewhere between later on this year. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, our 100th episode is right around the corner next week. We're at 100th, and man, it's just I don't want to talk too much. I'm gonna save it for the 100th episode. I'll see you there, Johnny. But yeah,
Yeah, you better believe it, boy. Triple digits. Tune in.
100 episode, 2 years in, and thanks a lot for everyone that's wrote it out with us so far. So I don't want to say too much, but we'll save it for the next episode. So appreciate it. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Happy Easter. Happy holidays, and please stay safe and enjoy the rest of your week.